Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. Just a couple hours ago, I was reading something in regards to a particular candidate in the United States of America. And this particular individual had talked about how we should raise the retirement age. Okay. Now, here's the deal. And this is a really important question you need to ask yourself. And that question is, am I going to make a living for myself without trying to rely on any subsidies? And by any subsidies, I am talking about Social Security in particular. Now, why do I ask that question? Okay. A lot of people don't understand, but the fact of the matter is that as human beings, we're essentially a social animal. We're not an individualistic animal. We don't come out the womb and dress ourselves, care for ourselves, etc. No, we are shaped by our parents, by our family, by our community, society, and on and on. What we have is the further breakdown of basically a lot of welfare. And I'm not saying welfare as a negative thing, but essentially, we're not going to have as many, benefits, okay, as we had in the past. Now, Social Security is going to be here for quite a while, but it's imperative that people understand how you get paid. Social Security is paid into by everyday people who work, right? Now, you become, let's say, 65, 70 years old, you retire, and eventually you try to take out of Social Security, right? Well, here's the problem: that Social Security check isn't enough. Then they say, okay, Social Security, you're not supposed to depend on Social Security. You need to depend on, investments. First, it was pensions, right? So Social Security and pensions. Now they got rid of pensions, and now we have what, 401ks, where you have to give money to some fund and allow them to essentially manage your money. But the funny thing is, a lot of these funds, charge you merely for managing the funds in the first place. So you're probably better off going about yourself to do what exactly? Manage your own finances, right? Now, pensions are gone, 401ks, Social Security is going to get further depleted. What else do you have? They say you have savings. Here's the problem: savings are a byproduct of acquisition and sales. If you don't know how to, first off, get the money in the first place, how exactly are you going to save? You got people, the average American, if I remember correctly, makes per capita $35,000 to $40,000 a year. Okay, adjusted for inflation for 2024. If you're making that amount of money, you have rent that's always continuously increasing. You have a car, but it's not fully paid off yet because it's simply a car note. How exactly are you going to move forward? Right? Can you even take vacations? 40 hours? That's not even going to cut it. Now, doing 40 hours is mid. If you're not putting in 60, if you're not putting in 70, if you're not putting in 80 hours, don't even think about even having success. It's about doing whatever you want to do, right? This is why retirement is going to eventually get depleted, because we don't have enough people coming up and what existing. The population is on the decline, and when you have a declined population, you're not going to have as many avenues to try and extract money from a declining population. You look at South Korea, somehow they have a fertility rate of zero point 0.7. I didn't even know that could be possible, but apparently it's 0.7. And it's only continuously going down. It's not even slowing down, it's accelerating. And people wonder, oh, okay, what does that mean? What that means is your Social Security is dependent upon other people, which means that if there are more people being born or more people in the labor pool, guess what? There isn't much in terms of what you're going to get from Social Security. Same thing with Medicare, same thing with Medicaid. You are going to need to figure out how you're going to make a living for yourself and make your retirement from grinding to make a living. Why is it that so many millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever you want to call it, why are so many of them on the entrepreneurial track? Because they see what lies ahead of them. That 40-hour game that they're trying to push on people, that's done. That's finished. If you're not constantly hustling, working, and doing that ad nauseum, people don't want to, forget people. You're not going to have success. It's just not going to happen. Not in this day and age. Now, you probably could do that in the olden days, right? And by olden days, I'm talking about 1940s, 1950s, etc. But those days are done. You're trying to retire. You need to not have a nest egg. You need to have numerous cash flows so that you're able to make a living for yourself. Now, let me make this clear. When I say cash flows, I'm not talking about real estate. Nothing against real estate, right? But it's really imperative that you're actually making money from trade and commerce, and not necessarily because some people need it. Like, people need shelter, right? You come up, you provide the shelter, then, you're fine with these people to pay rent, et cetera, et cetera. You could go ahead and do that, sure. But the income margins is pretty low, right? Retirement, as we know it, is essentially finished. And that's not a negative thing. Because why? Charlie Munger, dude was 99 years old when he passed away. He was, I think, one of the executives at Berkshire Hathaway. Dude was 99 years old. He enjoyed doing what he was doing. But because that was the case, he had a hard time. Sorry, not him. But because that's the case, many other people are having a hard time adjusting to that work ethic. You see how throughout the decades, there's an increasing standard on what's going to matter and for you to have success? Well, the last standard is business. Reid Hoffman, he's the individual who founded the network. LinkedIn is a professional social network for people to, get along and connect with one another. He said in his book, The Startup of You, that if you want to succeed as a professional, you are going to have to do what? You're going to have to think and act like an entrepreneur. That's what he said. The professional basically has to act and think like an entrepreneur. And I agree with that. Now, here's the problem with that. If that's the case, why stick to being an employee and not just become an entrepreneur? You see where I'm getting at? At the end of the day, I'm trying to convey to you that you have to figure out how you are going to make a living for yourself, because really, the government isn't going to do that for you. Businesses are not going to do that for you. You are going to do it for you. That is what's going to happen. As of this moment, there are more homeless people amongst the elderly population. And because that is the case, you're going to see more and more and more people on the streets who are going to be poor and elderly. I don't want to see that for you. That's why you need to do a business. That's what I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy your day. Bye.